Big4.com is pleased to release its 2012 Big Four Firms Performance Analysis, a unique analysis of the 4 largest accounting firms in the world. Ernst Young's combined worldwide 2012 revenues for the year, ending June 30th, 2012, were $24.42 billion, increasing 7.6% in local currency terms from the comparable period in fiscal year 2011 of $22.88 billion in global revenues. In U.S. dollar terms, the revenue jumped 6.7% from 2011 to 2012. Ernst Young noted that its business model and strategy continue to weather the economic turmoil and withstand the test of time as all service lines showed strong growth in emerging markets. The firm's strongest performing sectors, all with double-digit growth, were automotive, life sciences, mining and metals, and oil and gas. Brazil saw organic revenue growth of 17.5%, while India, Africa, China, and the CIS increased revenues of 19.8%, 10.2%, 11.8%, and 15.6% respectively. Assurance Services had fiscal year 2012 revenues of $10.923 billion, which was up 4.1% in local currency terms and 3.4% in U.S. dollar terms from fiscal year 2011 revenues of $10.561 billion. Global Tax Services, with fiscal year 2012 revenues of $6.37 billion, was up 7% in local currency terms and also up 6% in U.S. dollar terms from fiscal year 2011 of $6.011 billion. Advisory Services, with fiscal year 2012 revenues of $4.956 billion, was up an astounding 16.2% in local currency terms and 15.1% increase from $4.304 billion in fiscal year 2011 in U.S. dollar terms. Transaction Advisory Services, with fiscal year 2012 revenues of $2.171 billion, had a 9.4% increase in local currency terms, and revenues grew 8.3% in U.S. dollar terms from $2.004 billion in 2011. In terms of geographies, Americas had fiscal year 2012 revenues of $9.82 billion, which increased 10.1% in local currency terms and 9.3% in U.S. dollar terms from fiscal year 2011 revenues of $8.981 billion. EMEIA, with fiscal year 2012 revenues of $10.459 billion, was up 6.5% in local currency terms and also up 3.8% in U.S. dollar terms from fiscal year 2011 of $10.075 billion. Asia Pacific, with fiscal year 2012 revenues of $2.813 billion, was up 8.1% in local currency terms, but increased 11.1% in U.S. dollar terms from $2.532 billion in fiscal year 2011. Japan had fiscal year 2012 revenues of $1.328 billion, which was down 2.3% in local currency terms, but up 2.8% in U.S. dollar terms from fiscal year 2011 of $1.292 billion. The firm noted that emerging markets saw combined revenue growth of 15.5%. Ernst Young's headcount at an all-time high of 167,000, with 15,000 plus new hires in 2012. Please go to big4.com/analysis to download the complete analysis, which can be used with full attribution to big4.com.